Hey campers, Georgia, back in the man cave. Yep, just checking out a package I just got from the Ukraine. One of my favorite knife makers, BPS knives. Been waiting for this one. See, Ukraine. Let's check it out. Pretty tightly sealed up. Did take a while to get here. I did get it on ST. And simply because it wasn't available on my usual places I go to, did cost a little bit more because I did that. But hey, I wanted it, so I got it. Say hi to Mary. She's not talking to me. Wouldn't let her outside today for a usual stroll around the South 40. There he is here. Nice sheath. Huh. I don't think I have this colored sheath. Got all the other ones. So let's check it out. So here it is here in the sheath. And this is the BPS knives BK06 Camp Knife. Look at that. I saw this knife and the first thing that got my attention was the handle. I love that style handle. Although the only issue I have with this kind of handle is that you can see it's not full tang. This is a rat tail. Having a look here, I can see that the tang of the rat tail is probably over half the thickness of the width of the blade. So you can see the knife here. It is stainless steel, and this is a walnut handle, and I really like it. It is very nice indeed. And they coat their handles with a Danish oil, and you can see the finish on their blades. Very typical for BPS knives. They do a really nice polish on it. Even their carbon-based knives have the same look to it. They almost look stainless steel. This one is stainless steel, and they call it a camp knife. And you can see it's not small. It's got some length on that blade, and obviously not a bushcraft knife. And the handle actually feels very nice. All the handles seem to fit my hand really well. I do like the way they make their handles. This is a little bit different in the usual ones. Most of the knives that are owned by them, and I do own a couple, they are all full tang. There's two. I own this one and another one. This guy here, the name I can never pronounce, and you can see it's a thing of beauty. And if you look at the two knives, very, very similar. This one I got a while ago, and this is a really beautiful knife. So back to this guy, and this, like I said, is a camp knife. They don't call it a bushcraft knife or anything like that. It's a camp knife. They do say it's not full tang, and they don't recommend bludgeoning with it, battening, which I probably wouldn't do with a knife like this. Any non-full tang knife, it makes me a little nervous that I might snap it, and then I'm out my 25 cents I paid for the knife. The BK06 Camp Knife. And on the blade here, it says BPS knives, stainless, 5CR14 MOV. So there you go. Made in the Ukraine. They do make a nice knife. I like all their knives that they make. And they're not shy about it. They do say that a lot of their knives are copies. I mean, I own the copy of the Bushlaw. Great knife, half the price of the Bushlaw. Just as good. So these guys do a good job, and the finish, the way the knife comes, it's sharp. I know it'll be sharp. I've learned the hard way with them on that one. Let's have a little closer look at it. And here are some dimensions. The overall length, 9.8 inches. So it's not a little guy, and that's more obviously a true camp knife size. A good size for a camp knife. It's a general knife. It's not a specific knife, for example, like a bushcraft design knife. This is Scandi grind blade, and you can see it there. I want to say it's a drop point. It's very slight, the drop point, but it is there. The edge here doesn't feel as sharp as the other ones. Blade length 5.1 inches. You can see it there. So that means the handle's about 4.7 inches. The handle, walnut, and it's a nice size. I like this. It's a nice sized handle. I do like the handle matches the blade size. It feels good. It actually is fairly light. The overall weight, 4.8 ounces, which is really, it's nothing. You can feel the weight of the blade in the front. Obviously, you've got more length there, so it does tend to go forward. It's not going to be a perfectly balanced knife. It'll be sharp. I know it'll be sharp. Got a piece here. Let's have a look, see what damage we can do with this. Look at that. This is sharp. Sharp. And I will say that about BPS. They do send you a nice sharp knife. They do send you their knives with an oil covering on it, and if you're going to use it for eating, prepping food or something like that, you might want to clean that off first. If not, leave it on there until you do get to use it, because it preserves the blade, and they do that with all their knives. Have this, I won't want to say a bolster on here. It's not really a bolster, but that finish, it gives it a nice look. I like the look of the knife. I like the style of the handle going straight into the blade like that. Very nice. Let's have a look at the sheath here. And the color of the sheath is a little unusual. It's a right in between. They do have a more reddish color one. They have the black one, this one here, which is fancied up. And then they have the dark brown. And then this is like really in between. It doesn't have a lot of that red in it to make it a reddish brown. All made the same style. Does come with a dangler on it, which I love. I love these things. I'm really appreciating a knife that comes with a sheath and a dangler. They're very nice. And it's already starting. You can see it's pre-shaped there for the handle. And it goes in there, and over time it'll shrink and form to it really nicely. Just like it is full leather, true leather. They are well made. Their stitching, it's really nice and clean. All their studs, I've never had a problem with anything like that. Just like any knife that you own, you want to look after it, and the better you take care of it, the longer it's going to work for you. So always remember, sheaths, over time they will tend to harden. You want to try and keep that leather soft. There's a lot of different ways of doing that. I use neat's foot oil on my leather products. Once a year I'll just go through all my knives and just give a quick wipe on the leather to keep it a little nice and supple. Obviously wood handles like this, I don't have a recommendation for you. I personally like to use on any wood boiled linseed oil. I find that works really good, especially on my axe handles. I don't cover them with anything. I scrape off all that, you get an axe, it comes with that, I don't know what they put on it. It's just a coating to protect the wood. I scrape it off and put linseed oil on and really soak it the first time, a couple of times in a row. Every couple of weeks, give it a good soaking, and then after that you just have to maintain it. And the nice thing about it is it gives a nice grip to the handle. Same thing with a knife, wood handle like this. Linseed oil will work great. It's not slippery. It gives a nice texture. It's not too smooth and not too rough. And obviously it keeps the wood in good order. This is a walnut handle, and good focus on it there. Very nice. I like the look. It is darker than it looks on the camera here. It's a little bit darker. Got to give it a try. It is a camp knife, so food prep, wood prep, that sort of thing. They do recommend no bludgeoning with it. They don't like that idea with the nice thing about stainless steel is it does hold an edge really well. It's a good stainless steel, once it's sharpened, it holds its edge really well. So you're not sharpening it as much, but a little bit more difficult to sharpen because it's a little hard. Just slice it across the wood. Feather sticks starting a fire. Look at that. I'm just twisting it in my hand. Curly feather stick that you want. And see that for knife. I'm going to go outside and carve a piece of wood. When they come along, let's go. So I'm outside here and I put the knife on my belt because I want to see how the dangler works. And then I'm going to cut on my test piece of wood. So let's see how the dangler works. You can see there, it stays vertical, which is a good thing. Less chance of you losing your knife. So I'm sitting outside and I've got this piece of wood, and it's a piece of wood that I found. Kind of liked it. There's not much wood I don't like. And I've been playing with it, and you can see I just whittle away and try different things with it. I'm going to use the knife now. I'm just going to maybe extend this swirl or twist or whatever you want to call it, spiral, and let's see how the knife does. And of course, always remember to cut away from yourself. That's important. So I'm just going to extend this and see, wow, how it cuts in, because I want to extend this spiral. If you're thinking about doing a spiral, the more you cut into it, the better the spiral looks, the more realistic. And you can see how easily that's cutting in. Watch this. And it's not a soft piece of wood at all. Look at that. It's cutting into this no problem. Very nice. So there you can see how the spiral works. And I just keep going around, adding to the spiral. You can see here I've added that piece on there. And I just carry on digging into it and extend the spiral. So you can see it starting to extend. Now if you look here, you have a sharp edge right here. Ideally you want your spiral to be round, and you can see I've started on these ones to round it off so it looks more like a round, I want to say, vine type thing, and it gives it a better look. So the way to do that is you just work your way around and keep adding. A curve to the top here. Now this is obviously going to be a pretty big spiral. It's thick, but this is just a test piece of wood for me. I want to see just how far I can go, and you got to try and keep it round so you can see here. Well, hopefully you can see it. It's getting a round edge on it. And this knife does a great job. It's really sharp. And the way to do it is you don't cut straight down, you want to slice with it. And you can get better, but see, here's where I've been rounding off. And it's getting that round feeling. Now when I get down to this side, you're going to get a nice round on it. It's sharp. Comfortable in my hand. Nice. Good looking knife. Nice sheath with it. Can't beat that. Yay for BPS knives. So there you go. BPS knives out of the Ukraine. We all know what they're going through now, so this is my little way of supporting them. They're having a real hard time getting stuff out. I will let you know that if you do buy from them out of the Ukraine direct, without going through Amazon or a middleman, it does take a while to get through. It has to go through all the customs and all that good stuff. Worth it though. And like I said, I paid a little bit more for it, but that's okay. At least I could get it. I couldn't find it anywhere else locally. How much did I pay for it? Well, that much. Now you can get them if you're patient and you wait. I'm sure they'll eventually come back on places like Amazon, and they'll be a little bit less expensive. Surprisingly, it's not that much more. If you go to their website, I'll put a link below to the BPS website. For the price, I like this. Really good sheath and a really good knife for that kind of price is hard to find these days. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back with something else. Maybe another sharp and shiny. A little guy, folding type, camp trip, fishing, and do some fly fishing. Teaching myself how to Euro-nymph. Great way to fly fish. Really enjoying it. If you haven't seen it, I did make a video where I did an overnight camp. Link below. Check it out. Just saying. Thanks for watching. And you all be safe out there, especially with them sharp and shinies. Take care now.